Hello and welcome to the series of topics on Salesforce. In this session, we will be discussing on the how we can create the new users and what are the required fields that we need to fill when we create the new users, which are mandatory information, and how we can reset the passwords for the users, and what is the way we can create multiple users at a time. So the way you can navigate to creating of users is setup, manage users and users. When you click on the users, you will be shown this view where you can create the new users. So I click on create new users button, and I will be shown all the required information that I need to fill. The mandatory information are the last name, alias, email address, username and nickname. So when I fill in the last name and the first name, the alias will be automatically populated, and when I fill the email address and the username will be the same, because username is auto populated from the email address. If you want to have a different username from the email address, you can change the username according to the requirement. And the three important things which has to be created before you start creating the users are the role. The role should have been predefined before you start creating the users. So I can create any role that is as per the role hierarchy defined in the organization. So it can be multiple roles. When you click on the role, you can see what are all the roles that are defined in your organization, and you can select any role that is relevant to this user. Similarly, you will be displayed all the available users. So once you start using the existing licenses, the licenses that have been already been used by any other users will not be shown in this drop down. Only the user licenses which are available for use will be shown in this user license, and you can click on the user license that is relevant for this user. Similarly, the profiles which are dependent on the user license that you have chosen will be shown. So you can have the standard profiles or the custom profiles for the users that can be mapped to. And the local information will be auto populated. If this needs to be changed, the administrator can go ahead and change it according to the requirements. Like the three fields of time zone, local and language can be changed by the administrator if needed. And there are newsletters which you can disable or enable depending on the requirement, and this needs to be enabled. The generate new password and notify user immediately needs to be enabled, and click on the save button when you complete the information. So the second thing that you can do is you can, after you have already created a users and you need to reset the password, you can go to click on the particular user for whom I need to reset the password, and then click on the reset password button. So it asks for reset password for these users. I say OK. So either you can do it for one user or multiple users. If it is more than one users, you will be shown multiple users here, and a communication saying has been sent via email to the user's email address, which in this case is this email address, to which the changed password link will be sent. So going back to the user screen, we can also add multiple users at a time. If I click on this button, multiple users, again I need to choose the license to which the users are to be associated to, and then if I click on the license, I will be shown all the users that under the license I need to add for each of the users. So I can have multiple users with a particular license depending on the maximum users allowed for that licenses. Okay, that's how you can create multiple users and click on save button once you enter all the details like last name, email address, email and username, and profile, and the row, the details that you saw in the last screen when we created the individual users. So that's how you create multiple users at a time. Once I complete the entering the details, I click on save button. So we saw that how we can create users one by one, or how we can create multiple users at a time based on the license that we have chosen, and how we can reset the password in this session. We will be discussing on further topics in the next session. Thanks for joining.